record this for my family, for my friends. The wind is still, and the snow has stopped. All around the table, there are instructions, maps, details, notes. A young man slowly raises his head to the priest before him. He takes one bite of the bread and a single sip of the wine. Benedicte materias Dominos. The young man rises and nods as he walks away. He takes one last look at it. One last look at his surrounding. He can hear it in the distance. The bell, gong, gong, ringing in the distance. He leaves, picks up his sword, and ties it down, grabs his axe, and hoists it over his shoulder. He ventures forward as he can hear the bell louder and louder. Watching all the citizens evacuate, they all stare at him. He keeps his eyes face fronted. It's the young man who's holding his horse. He begins to attach all his instruments and weapons. He takes one look down at the boy who just stares at him. He knows. With a solemn nod, the knight rises, up on his horse. And gestures one last sign to the Holy Trinity. He ventures forward, determination steel in his eyes as the gate rises. Through the garrison, alone, off into the snow, he stands there. The snow has still stopped. Well, a single flake flies by, and as he watches it, and he can hear it in the distance. Get louder and louder. The trembling, the rumbling, the roars. He puts his visor down and charges forward. As the armies of the abyss run towards humanity's last bastion. At full speed, he charges. Reaching back, holding arrows between his fingers, he rips out several arrows. They miss, but not quite, as they go past the horde coming on, slicing against trees and other devices that snap ropes. A quick rumble and boom, the horse leaps over as an entire trench falls into the ground as the demons swiftly fall into the spikes below. He charges and darts to his right, the horde following up to the hill. Faster and faster he goes, pushing his horse. Wake up. Forcing up the hill. He draws his dagger, cuts aside, falls off. Quickly he pulls to the side, snaps another rope. A form falls onto the horse that charges by. The shambling horde follows, chasing the horse and its dummy rider. He stands up, darts off, moving through the brush, pushing it aside. Grabs 3 final arrows, plucks them all one by one. Off in the distance, as one flies through the air, a single can be heard. that vibration goes throughout the land. You can slowly hear it. The snow comes into a rumble, turns into an avalanche. As the echo roars across, he can see it as the minions of hell are swept away and buried by the snow. He looks up and sees he's the last that are remaining, and 3 targets which he has planned ahead for. With a deep breath, he begins to cut off the flanks of his armor, grabs a loaded crossbow, and ventures into a catapult as he sees the abominations flying overhead. He steels himself, draws his axe, and cuts as he is launched into the air, praying and hoping that this will work, because he's only got 1 shot. The crossbow is loaded, a rope is strapped to it, and he desperately tries to attach it to himself as he launches it. A rider can sit there, wonders where it comes from as he sees off into the distance this figure sweeping around, coming up over him, and he stares as he is kicked right off into the distance, right off into the horde below him. Knight grabs his axe, placing himself onto the flying demon, stabbing and clawing his way up. He reaches back, stabs it in the eye. With a shift of his weight, he reaches it down. It roars, breathing blood, acid, and fire onto the remaining below. He can feel himself going through the force of gravity, pulling deeper and deeper onto his body. That he can barely hold on. Just minutes pass as he lets himself go. His sword briefly draws itself as he complains into the ground. He comes out of the hole that he has fallen in. He looks back. What remains of his drawn blade severed off his own left arm. He stumbles across to see what is remaining. His head, his arms, his barely able to stand as his head is pulsed with the adrenaline rush that still remains. He can hear it though. And as he turns and sees what is remaining, the dark, unholy mist swirling together, forming into one last giant abomination. He raises his blade into the form of the Holy Trinity, places a kiss on the hilt. As he holds back, the beast lumbers towards him, and this is his final stand. Thank you.